Hi, I'm Dr. Nan Boss. This is Dr. Emily Helms. We're going to have a little cooking class today to talk about good nutrition in cats and dogs.
Most pet owners are aware that good nutrition is important to the health of their pet and spend a lot of money on quality pet food. Currently in the pet food industry, there's not enough regulation to ensure that you're getting what you're paying for. And unfortunately, the educational material that's available, whether it's on the bag, on the internet, in advertising, or even in the fancy pet store brochures, is hype. We talk to dozens of clients on a daily basis about pet nutrition. The same comments, concerns, and misconceptions come up over and over again. A large portion of our time is spent addressing specific food ingredients and the marketing hype created around them. Pet stores and food companies try very hard to get you focused on ingredients rather than nutrients, even though the quality of a diet cannot be accurately assessed by the individual ingredients listed on the bag. The body doesn't really care what the ingredients are as long as the nutritional components are in them. One example of ingredient-based marketing is the phrase "corn is bad." There are quite a few carbohydrate sources commonly used in pet foods, but there isn't a lot of difference between them. Okay, so there's several different types of rice. There's also oats and barley, which as you can see look almost exactly alike, and then there's more rice. Corn is 84% digestible, whereas potato is only 70% digestible, and corn has a better amino acid balance compared to rice. The 16% of corn that isn't digestible is fiber, which is a beneficial ingredient that promotes good digestion. So these are all examples of whole grain items, which would be considered healthier for you than something such as plain white bread. Since dogs are omnivores, not carnivores, they benefit from these same ingredients. Even cats who are carnivores eat carbohydrates and grains when they eat their prey because whatever the mouse or bird ate that is in the intestinal tract ends up inside the cat. Both cats and dogs produce enzymes to digest carbohydrates and readily use carbs for energy. A second common ingredient misconception is that soy is bad. This is also false. Soy is good for us and good for pets too. The isoflavones and other antioxidants in soybeans help prevent cancer. Beans in general are good sources of protein, fiber, iron, and B vitamins. Again, it is the nutrients in the ingredient that are important, not the ingredient itself. It's also not a common ingredient for pets to become allergic to, despite what the person at the pet store tells you. Most food allergies are to beef, chicken, or dairy products. Soy and wheat allergies occur in dogs but are much less common. It's rather ironic that in humans, soy and corn are both marketed as 100% natural and healthy, but it's considered bad in dog food. Probably the longest running and most consistent concern we hear from clients is that byproducts are bad. Again, this is false. Byproducts mostly consist of internal organs, which are great sources of nutrition. Dogs and cats need the liver of their prey to get vitamins A, D, E, and K, as well as iron. There are different grades of byproducts, and some deliver great nutrition. If byproducts are not used in the food, artificial vitamins are added instead. Did you know that Jell-O, hot dogs, and cheese are all considered byproducts? It's rather ironic to hear a client say they won't feed a pet food with byproducts in it, but they give their dog bones, rawhides, bully sticks, pig ears, or other miscellaneous animal parts. All of them byproducts and all of them implicated in the spread of salmonella to pets and their humans. When looking at a pet food bag, one of the few pieces of important, legally required information provided is the ingredient list, and meat should be near the top. This is good in theory, but you really can't tell from the label if the meat ingredients really outweigh the rest. It's so easy for manufacturers to cheat on this. Let's say the ingredients for a bag of dog food includes 15 pounds of rice and 5 pounds of poultry meat meal. The regulations state that the heaviest ingredient must be listed first. This puts the rice first instead of the meat. So then the manufacturer can decide to use 3 piles of different grains at 5 pounds each instead of one big pile of one kind of rice. Then the food would have 5 pounds each of meat meal, white rice, brown rice, and brewer's rice. They could then add a little water to the meat meal and make it heavier. This could give them 6 or 7 pounds of meat and 5 pounds each of 3 different types of rice. Perfect. They can then list the meat first and then the rice, even though there's really a whole lot more rice than meat, and the water weight that was added will just boil away when the food is cooked. It's very easy to fudge the label. So when a pet food company decides to manufacture a pet food and they're worried about marketing their label, they take their ingredient list and decide what to do with it. As we have here, we have 1 part meat, 3 parts carbohydrate, and the vitamin mix. Essentially, by physically looking at it and based on weight, the carbohydrate is going to outweigh the chicken or the protein source. So what we could then do as a pet food company would be to take our 3 parts rice and instead put in 1 part rice, 1 part barley, and 1 part oats with our vitamin mix. And now we still have 3 parts carbohydrate to 1 part protein, but our carbohydrates equal the same amount of weight as our protein. So if we add water to our protein source, that effectively makes it heavier. It does not change the amount of protein in the food, it just makes it heavier, which legally puts it first on our list of ingredients. Pet food manufacturers also like to promote certain ingredients as good. A common claim is that fruits and vegetables in the food make it better. This is usually false and purely marketing. So blueberries are a common marketing ingredient in pet foods these days. They do include many important vitamins and lutein. However, 1 blueberry, which may be exactly what's in your food, is not enough to be a benefit at all. This one says mint and parsley and promotes that as a good item on their ingredient list. This particular one says it's made with real chicken with berries and flaxseed. How much is really in there? Eating a carrot and taking a baby aspirin every day are good for you, but eating 1/10 of a carrot or taking 1/10 of an aspirin probably won't do very much. With no government oversight, we don't even have any assurance that the ingredients listed on the bag are the ones going into the food, much less whether there's 1 carrot per ton or 100. Probiotics have become a popular concept in pet health, and some are incredibly reputable and useful, and others, when added to pet food, are destroyed in the processing and aren't helpful at all. For fatty acids, there's 2 different ways to provide them. There's salmon oil, which is an incredibly beneficial way to provide fatty acids, and then there's flaxseed, which is a popular concept in pet food. Flaxseed contains fatty acids, but dogs and cats do not contain the enzymes to actually process it and get the fatty acids out of it, meaning you can put flaxseed in your food, but it's not providing any fatty acid supplement to your dog or cat at all. For a drug to be approved, the manufacturer has to prove both efficacy and safety. For nutritional additives, no proof is required. Only diets formulated and tested in clinical trials to see if they are effective can be guaranteed to do what they say they will do, whether it's weight loss, dental tartar prevention, or arthritis. Pet foods are not subject to USDA inspection, as are human foods. The terms holistic, premium, gourmet, and human grade hold no legal weight with the USDA. Most pet foods are made by giant corporations. Procter & Gamble Company, owner of the Iams Company, also owns Natura Pet Products. Natura makes Innova, Evo, California Natural, Healthwise, Mother Nature, and Karma Pet Foods and products. The brands Diamond, Kirkland, Natural Balance, Wellness, Canidae, Chicken Soup, and Premium Edge are all made in the same facility and all were involved in a recent salmonella recall. Think holistic and natural are made by pet food companies that have your pet's best interest at mind or are small and care about you and your pet? Think again. Popular foods come about and leave continually, and we try not to get caught up in those popular fads or the latest trend. What you feed your pet matters. We care about what you feed your pet. Please ask us for a recommendation.